From the Beam Media Studios in Dallas, Texas, this is the Jack Attack, the show where I, Jack Everett, answer the toughest questions in hopes to find meaning in the universe. And today we've got one of the more important questions that has ever been asked of me, and that is, what is the best Star Trek captain? And this is the great debatable question that hundreds upon thousands of nerds, maybe even millions of nerds, have debated on the internet. So let us begin by bringing up this array of the Star Trek captains, all of them that have ever been on a TV series or movie series. And so I think looking at this list of all the captains, I think we can eliminate these two out of the running right away, because they are from the series Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Enterprise. And I have never seen those series, so I have nothing to say about. I don't know anything about these captains, so I can't make a judgment upon them. But with these four remaining captains, let us take a look at this one. And this one is Benjamin Sisko from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And I think just by looking at him, we can tell an obvious difference between him and the other three. And it is blatantly obvious what is different about him. He's not a captain, he's a commander, so he's out of the running as well. All right, so that leaves us to these three. And here we've got this one, Captain Janeway. So this brings us to the actual real argument that is to be had, because no one cares about any of the other captains. The real argument is who is better, Captain Kirk of Star Trek, the original series, or Captain Picard of Star Trek, the Next Generation. And this is the immortal argument of all nerds that's ever been made. So how can we truly understand who the best Star Trek captain is? And I think what we need to do is we need to make a graph. And on the x-axis, we will put T for time passage. And on the y-axis, we will put quality Q, a Q here, for quality, that looks really bad, Q, quality of service Q. Okay, so let us begin with Star Trek The Next Generation, Episode 1, Season 1, Encounter at Farpoint. And so Star Trek begins here, and I think we'll quickly see, but then we see in Season 3, Episode 26, The Best of Both Worlds, that Picard's decisions just go straight uphill. Like in 4, Episode 17, Night Terrors, you'll see that Picard makes some of the worst decisions of his career. Until Season 7, Episode 14, where it just drops straight down like that. Because I think we can all agree that no one wants to see Dr. Beverly Crusher have psychic sex with her grandmother's deceased boyfriend. All right, and so this is basically the path line of Captain Picard's career. All right, so let us do basically the same thing for Captain Kirk here from the original series. So we'll need our time axis, and we will need our quality of service axis. So Captain Kirk's career is actually very different. So in the very first episode, Star Trek, The Cage, the pilot episode, Captain Kirk is not even in it. So we'll start here at 0 because he's not even in it, so that doesn't even rank. But as soon as Captain Kirk shows up, we'll see that his distinguished career continues rising right off. First season wasn't as well developed as later seasons. But, however, by season 1, episode 28, which actually goes backwards in time, we get the peak of Star Trek with the city on the edge of forever. The best episode, I think, rated. To season 3, episode 19, Requiem for Methuselah, which is kind of like where the weirdness begins, is also pretty good. But then a terrible thing happens, and that is this point right here, where Star Trek completely falls down into nothingness because of the movie Star Trek Generations, the worst thing that Captain Kirk has ever been in. And so this is Captain Kirk's distinguished career. And you'll notice its high point reaches much higher than Captain Picard's ever did. And also, if we just fill in some detail here, draw a line here, put that classic little hair thing, the cool sideburns, throw in that distinguished jawline, stern mouth, broad nose, piercing eyes, and we got classic, handsome Captain Kirk. And I think that if we just fill in a few details here, like right here, and perhaps right here, draw some fingers, draw an ear, draw his classic hairdo and the rest of his arm, we'll see that this graph is actually classic facepalm Picard. And I think we all know why Picard facepalmed. It's because he had a bad crew. Probably because Wesley Crusher was on it. So I think just from the graphs alone, we already have a pretty good idea of who might be the better captain. But to truly answer this question, let's actually go back to an essay that I wrote just for fun in the year 2000, I think. And it is entitled, Who's the Better Captain? And in this essay, I answer the immortal question of who's the better captain. But reading over this essay, I don't really cite any of the episodes like I did when I made the graph. So I don't think the conclusions of this essay are even valid. So we will throw that essay out of the running. All right, with that research out of the way, we're finally ready to answer the question of who is the better Star Trek captain. And it is Captain Benjamin Sisko. Because indeed, in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 3, Episode 26, The Adversary, Sisko is promoted to captain. Hey, who are you?
It's pronounced Star Trek, not Star Trek, you dumb idiot.
This has been the Jack Attack. I'm Jack Everett. Thanks for watching.